Hi, Bears and Skyhawks. It's me, Atticus. I can't find Mr. Duncan today, so I'm going to be teaching you your math class. We're going to be learning all sorts of things with numbers and letters and answers and equal signs. So let's get started today.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at today's objective. Today's objective is we will be able to balance equations with addition. Now, we have done this before. We did it a few months ago in class. I know that we need a review on this before we go ahead and dive into combining equations and absolute value. So today and tomorrow are primarily going to be review lessons. If you feel like you've got it, fantastic. If not, you know how to get a hold of me. We're not going to spend too long on these lessons. We're going to move a little quick because, again, I am assuming that you remember some of the information. It's okay if you don't remember all of it. You can kind of catch up as we go. That's not a problem at all. Just like always, if you're able to print the lesson out, fantastic. If not, grab that piece of blank paper, fold it into 4 pieces so you've got room for 8 questions. And also our 2 rules of everyone track, so pausing and rewinding the video when you need to, and everyone tries. Make sure that you are completing the exit ticket at the end of this lesson. And also for Freckle Math today, you are working on operations and algebraic thinking. If you are not working on Freckle or not completing the exit tickets, you are not receiving full credit for today's lesson, so keep that in mind, all right? Let's go ahead and just get started with our do now. Looking at our do now, it says the following. Just solve for 4x plus 3 is equal to 15. Again, 4x plus 3 equals 15. Go ahead. You'll have a chance to complete this on your own and unpause the video when you're ready. So go ahead and pause it in the next 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, you've already had your chance to solve it, and you've already paused it and written some answer down. It's okay if it's not the correct answer because we're going to go over how to solve that in just a second right now. So let's go ahead and get started. Right now, we're looking at 4x plus 3 is equal to 15. We know that x is a variable. That is not 4 times, okay? That is a variable. Remembering that variables, we've talked about this a lot this year, a variable just represents a number. We don't know what number that is, though. So 4 times some number, because it's next to it, right? And when a number is next to a variable, it means to multiply. So 4 times some number right here, plus 3 is equal to 15. Now, there are a couple of ways to solve this. The first one I know some of you guys naturally try and solve is 4 times what plus 3 is going to give us 15. Instead, let's think about what we can take away from both sides of this, okay? We are primarily using addition and subtraction today. We'll talk about exactly what you can take away from both sides kind of as we go. But right here we have 4x plus 3 is 15. I see the very first thing we always want to look for is to see if we have any variables we can take away from both sides. Remember, this is a scale, all right? This is an equation, so we want it to be as balanced as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this down. 4x plus our 3 is equal to 15. Now, the big question is, what can we do on both sides to this, what can we do on both sides of the scale to keep it even? Right now our scale is even, it's nice and level. If we add something to this side, we have to add the same amount to this side so it remains equal, right? So it stays balanced. We talked about this a lot. We always want to look to see, are there any variables that we can take away first? I have x's over here, but we don't have any over here. So we can't take away any x's, right? Because if I take some away from here, I have to take the same amount here. If I have 4x's here, I have to take 4x's away from here. Maybe if I had 2x's over here, I could take 2x's away from here, right? We'll talk a little bit more about this on the next example, but we can't take any variables away. However, we do have numbers, right? We have numbers on both sides. We have a 3 and we have a 15. We can take numbers away from both sides, but you can only take away a number that you have from both sides, meaning that if I have a 3 here, I can only take 3 away from here. And there's a 3 inside of that 15. It's part of what's making that 15. So we're going to go ahead and take 3 away from here, and we're going to take 3 away from here. If we take 3 away from this side, so we have our minus 3 and our minus 3, if we take 3 away from this side, we're going to have 0 over here. but we'll have this 4x. We're going to bring down our 4x, and I'm actually going to change that color. So we have 4x, right? That just got brought down. That's it. No more numbers is equal to 15 minus 3, which is going to give us 12. Now, 4 times what number gives us 12? We've talked about our chant. We did that so much this year, as well as just your general multiples as well in your multiplication tables. So we know that 4 times 3 is going to give us that 12, right? So that would just be x is equal to 3, because 4 times 3 is equal to that 12. As a reminder, I'm just going to back up for a second here, because I know this is important. As a reminder, one way to think about this 4x is that there are 4 x's there. So we would have x plus an x plus an x plus an x is equal to 12, right? We have 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what number plus what number plus what number plus what number equals 12? It has to be the same number. It has to be the same rule. It can't be like 6 plus 2 plus 2. You can't do that, right? It has to all be the same number. If you're going to say this is a 1, they all are 1. So it'd be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. That would give us 4, not 12. Again, thinking about it as 4 times what number? Again, 4 times 3 gives us that 12. So x is equal to 3. We've talked about this earlier on in the year. Let me know if you still have more questions, but I'm going to give you a second to go ahead and pause, copy this work down, and let's go on to another example. So pausing it in the next 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and move on to question number 1. This one we are going to do all together. For question number 2, you're going to start working on your own. So let's look first at question number 1. Question number 1 is just saying 6x is equal to 2x plus 8. Again, I'm going to go ahead and draw that equation out with our scale. We want both sides to be balanced, so we're going to have that equal sign in the middle. We have 6x's on this side is equal to 2x's plus 8. Again, thinking about what can we do on both sides in order to keep our equation balanced, right? This side has to be equal to this side. So if we add 5 here, we have to add 5 here. If we take 5 away from here, we have to take 5 away from here. Again, looking at our variables first, our x's. Do I have x's on both sides? The answer is yes. I have 6 of them here and 2 of them here. So let's go ahead and take away as many as we possibly can, all right, to simplify our answer and just keep bringing things down. So here, if we have 6 x's here, we can't take 6 x's away from here. Instead, we're going to take 2 x's, right, because we only have 2. So I'm going to take 2 of those away, which means I have to take the same amount away from here. If I took 2 away from here, I have to take 2 away from here as well. That means 6x's minus 2x's is going to give us 4x's. And that's going to be equal, we got rid of all of these, to 8. So again, thinking about what number, 4 times what number is going to give us 8, right? Again, we could always write this out in expanded form of x plus x plus x plus x. And then is equal to what number, or equal to 8. But here again, knowing our multiplication tables is very helpful. 4 times 2 is going to give us 8. So that means x is equal to 2. 4 times 2 gives us that 8, right? We can even practice or just double check it by saying 4 times our 2 is equal to 8, right? What number? And that makes it true, which means that our x is equal to that 2. Go ahead, if you need to pause it, go ahead and do that and copy the work down in the next 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's go ahead real fast and just get set up for question number 2. Question number 2 is asking the following. We have x plus 2 plus 2x's is equal to x plus 10. Now, we have numbers on both sides, we have variables on both sides, so it's just about organizing our work first and kind of figuring it out from there. Now, I'm going to help you get it started, and then you're going to solve it on your own. So we're going to go ahead and draw our scale, and we're just going to copy things down. First thing I see, though, is I have an x and two x's here, and it's all on this side. Let's just put those together and say we have 3 x's plus 2 is equal to x plus our 10. Again, we had an x here and 2 x's here, so we just put them together for 3 x's. Now, I want you to try this one on your own. We will go over how to solve this once you're done. So go ahead in a second, press pause, and you'll resume the video to check your work. Pausing in the next 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and just check our work. Now, again, what can we do to both sides in order to create or keep our equation balanced, to keep it equal, right? Here we have 3 x's, here we have 1 x, over here I have a 2 and a 10. So we can actually have a lot of different options here on what we want to do. The first thing, like always, is look for those variables. I have 3 x's here, we have 1 x here, so we can only take away 1 x from here, which means we can only take away 1 x from here. So if I just cross out that 1 x, cross out that 1 x, that means we're going to have 2 x's left, plus our 2 is equal to 10. Already looking a lot better. Now, after that, again, this is just a quick review. I see that we're done with our variables. We don't have any other x's on this side. We have them all on this side. So I can go ahead and take away some numbers. Let's go ahead and take away 2 from here. And again, take away 2 from here. We have to do the same thing on both sides. That means we're going to be left with 2x is equal to 8. That means x is going to be 4, because 2 times 4 is going to give us our 8. If you guys have questions, let me know. You know how to get a hold of me on Google Classroom or text or calling me. You know exactly what to do. Don't forget your exit ticket. Just try your best today. We're going to revisit this again tomorrow a little bit, just with a slightly different, with one change, but that's it. So you'll have another day of review. I don't expect you to master it. Again, taking care of your exit ticket and Freckle Math after. I will see you guys tomorrow.